Hi guys, welcome to season 2, episode 14 of the Girl Get Up podcast.
A safe space where no story is too broken, no question too heavy, and no dream too far gone. Here we talk about real things, underage and unwanted pregnancies, early marriages, and toxic relationships, and the silent battles so many girls face. But this is also a place for hope, a place to rise, a place to heal, and a place to step into the life God has called you to live, boldly, confidently, and without apology. I am your host, Naomi Bamdele, and together we will break the silence and find the courage to get up again. Girl, you're seen, you're loved, and you're not alone. Let's get into today's episode.
Hey family, welcome back to the Girl Get Up podcast. I'm sorry we missed last week's episode, but I believe today's conversation is arriving exactly when it's supposed to. This month we've been talking about visibility. In episode 12, we talked about you cannot be seen while hiding. And in episode 13, we talked about you don't need permission to be visible. But today, I want to talk about something deeper. Because sometimes we are not hiding anymore. Sometimes we are not waiting for permission anymore. Yet we are still stuck. Today's episode is titled, The Cost of Staying Small. And the truth is this, staying small feels safe until you realize it's costing you the life you were meant to live. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Staying small can feel comfortable. When you stay small, you don't have to take risk. You don't have to face rejection. You don't have to fail publicly. You don't have to deal with criticism. You don't have to carry responsibilities. You don't have to stretch yourself. And you don't have to leave your comfort zone. And because of that, staying small can feel safe. But comfort and growth rarely live in the same place. I repeat, comfort and growth rarely lives in the same place. Many of us are praying for bigger opportunities while refusing to take bigger steps. We want different results while continuing the same habits. We want growth without discomfort. We want purpose without responsibilities. We want change without movement. And unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. One reason many people stay small is because they are constantly asking, what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I don't have enough? What if things go wrong? But have you noticed something? We spend so much time worrying about what could go wrong that we never stop to ask, what if it works? What if this opportunity changes my life? What if taking one step leads to another? What if God is waiting for me to move? Sometimes we become trapped by possibilities that haven't even happened. And honestly, this is something I've been learning myself lately. Recently, I've found myself feeling stuck. Not because I didn't know some of the things I needed to do, but because I kept thinking about everything at once. The how, the when, the where will the money come from, the what if it doesn't work, the what if I make the wrong decision. And before I knew it, I was spending more time thinking than moving. Then I realized something. Sometimes we tell ourselves we are waiting for clarity, when really we are just afraid to take the next step. Because the truth is, you don't always get clarity before you move. Sometimes clarity comes because you moved. Sometimes the next step reveals the step after that. And I believe there are girls listening to me right now who are carrying dreams, ideas, goals, and callings from God. But you've been standing in the same place because you're waiting to see the whole picture. But what if God isn't asking you to see the whole picture? What if He is only asking you to take the next step? We create obstacles in our minds before we ever reach them. And while we are busy imagining failure, opportunities are passing us by. The danger of staying small is that it slowly becomes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as capable. You stop believing you're ready. You stop expecting growth. You stop challenging yourself. You stop dreaming boldly. You start settling. And eventually, the life you once prayed for starts feeling impossible. Not because it is impossible, but because you have convinced yourself that you're not capable of reaching it. Listen carefully. God did not place gifts inside you so they could remain hidden. He did not give you purpose so it could remain unused. He did not give you potential so it could remain buried underneath fear. When people hear the cost of staying small, They often think about money or opportunities. But the biggest cost isn't financial. The biggest cost is regret. The regret of never trying, the regret of never starting, the regret of never becoming, the regret of watching years pass while consistently saying one day, I will start later, when I'm ready, when things are better, when I have more. The truth is that many people aren't held back by a lack of ability. They are held back by hesitation. And hesitation has stolen more dreams than failure ever will. There comes a point where you have to stop asking whether you're ready and start asking whether you're willing. Willing to learn, willing to grow, willing to make mistakes, willing to be uncomfortable, willing to take the next step. Because the people you admire today didn't become who they are by waiting until they felt ready. They moved, they learned, they adjusted, they kept going. And that's how growth happens, not all at once. One step at a time, one decision at a time, one act of courage at a time. So, if you've been feeling stuck lately, I want you to hear this. Your future is not waiting for you to become fearless. Your future is waiting for you to become willing. Willing to start, willing to move, willing to trust God with what you don't know yet. You don't need to have every answer. You don't need the entire roadmap. You just need enough faith to take the next step. Because every dream stays a dream until somebody moves. And maybe the life you've been praying for is waiting on the other side of a step you've been afraid to take. Before we end today's episode, I want you to sit with this question. If you continue living exactly as you are today for the next 5 years, where will you end up? And more importantly, is that the life God is calling you to live? If the answer is no, what step do you need to take today? Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this episode spoke to you, share it with another girl who has been shrinking herself, delaying her dreams, or waiting for the perfect moment. And remember, staying small feels safe until you realize it's costing you the life you were meant to live. Girl, get up, rise to purpose. Thank you for spending this time with me on the Girl Get Up podcast. If today's conversation speaks to your heart, share this episode with a sister, a friend, or someone who needs to hear they are not alone. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And remember, no matter where you've been or what you face, you have the power to rise again. Until next Tuesday, keep going, keep growing, and girl, get up.